like this, and then we'll check it after we're.
What?
We'll check it after we've gone for a while. See how it's working. Okay. So, Dad, this is a little interview that we're doing of you.
Yeah.
You're in the Harmon Park, Robert Harmon. It seems like a very fitting place to do an interview of you.
In Walton, North Dakota.
Yeah, so this is really pretty close to where you've lived most of your life.
Yeah. This is Tuesday what?
Tuesday? Yes, this is Tuesday, August 21st.
21st of...
Let me check.
27th.
Tuesday, August 21st.
Tuesday, August 21st.
Yep. I must be retired because I had to check my calendar to see what day it is.
21st, yeah.
So, you were not born in Montana. I mean, you were born in Montana, right?
Hammond, Montana, I was born.
Hammond.
July 5th, 1930.
And then you lived there for how long before you moved to North Dakota?
Probably 4 years.
4 years only?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you moved to where in North Dakota?
Well, Trenton is that in North Dakota? Yeah,
Yep.
that's in North Dakota.
Just barely across the border.
We lived in Trenton. My dad was a depot agent.
I didn't know that. There's a depot in Trenton.
Yeah, but I don't know where he was. I don't know if he was a depot agent in Trenton or not. But we lived there. He was on the Snowden Bridge, and he was a tollman on the Snowden Bridge for probably 4 years. We lived in a little town on the south end of the Snowden Bridge called Noe, Montana.
Noli?
Noe, yeah.
Noli.
There was only about 7 buildings there.
So the bridge was across the Yellowstone River?
So that's across the Missouri.
Across the Missouri, okay.
Yeah.
But that's not far from the confluence of the Yellowstone, right?
Confluence is east of there.
And then how long did you live in Trenton?
So I think from 1934 to 1936. And we moved to Norwich, 1936.
Okay, we're going to take a little break. I want to make sure my camera is working right here. Yep, all systems go. So how old were you when you left Noli then?
10 years old.
10 years old? And then you went from there to where?
Charbonneau.
Charbonneau. So that's the town that you ended up living most of your older childhood years, right?
Yeah, before I went to from the 4th grade to high school, graduated from high school at Charbonneau.
How many teachers do you think you had there in Charbonneau during those, was it 8 years?
I think about 3 or 4 teachers in Charbonneau.
But you had one teacher that you knew better than all. Was she the last teacher that you had?
Ellen Jones.
Ellen Jost?
Yeah. She was our high school teacher. She supervised the tech in our high school.
How many grades were together in your classroom? All of them?
No, they had us mixed together, high school and the 7th and 8th grade. And the other ones were in elementary, was in another room.
Not at first though. When you first started going to school in Charbonneau, the whole school was in one room. So you had 12 grades in it.
Yeah.
12 grades in one room.
Yeah.
That's quite a job for a teacher.
Yeah.
32 kids.
Was it a little cramped?
Not bad.
Was there a bathroom inside, or did you have to go outside if you wanted
No,
to
I
use
had an outhouse outside.
Oh, okay. Were there any other rooms in there? Just one room that you all sat in?
Yeah, the start of it, it had a movable wall so you could divide it in two.
Oh, okay.
Later on, the grade school was on one side and the 7th to 8th grade high school on the other side.
Now, you were telling me that Ellen Jost moved somewhere after she left Charbonneau, right?
She taught 1 year in Cartwright.
Oh, in Cartwright.
Cartwright is west of Charbonneau.
And that's the town that's got the bridge or the tunnel, right? And it's right next to the lift bridge, is that right?
Yeah,
West of Cartwright.
yeah.
And then she taught 1 year at the rural school. That was the Art Link School. Then where did she go?
Well, she taught at the Nelson School north of Watford City, too. Then I don't know where from there.
Then she moved to Watford City and retired.
Yeah. Helen Jones was had 4 when she was 4 years old. She had to have crutches on her legs, and she could move around pretty good with crutches. And she finally drove a car too.
She had a special car outfitted for her, right?
Yeah, they had a special car. She bought it in Watford City. And the Oldsmobile Rocket.
So what happened after you You graduated from high school in Charbonneau, right?
Well, we needed to make some money, so we worked out on farms and on the railroad and different places.
So before you graduated, you went and made some money, or did you graduate first?
And we had to graduate first.
Okay. Didn't you have to travel to Grand Forks to graduate?
No, we went to Fargo.
Oh, to Fargo. Okay.
That's the graduating class for the correspondence students. He was taken high school by correspondence by mail.
So so the graduation was after the school year was over, right? And you traveled to Fargo, and then you came back, and then did you start working right away?
Yeah. Went to work.
What was your first job?
Working on a road crew. Down the Charbonneau, down by the Bad Back.
Is this blacktop or just gravel roads?
Gravel road.
And where was the road at that you were working on?
South of Charbonneau.
Oh, south of Charbonneau. Okay, so
It's a road that runs from Alexander to Sydney.
how long did you spend doing that?
Just one summer.
Oh, okay. Was it pretty hot, dusty?
Yeah.
What sort of work did you do for the road crew? Did you run equipment, or did you know?
I'm on a truck, it was just to drive us around. So we did some of the cleanup work around culverts, fences and things.
How much were you getting paid?
Probably about $1.25 an hour
Was that considered pretty good wages?
at that time. Yeah,
And where were you living when you were working on this crew?
Charbonneau.
Oh, okay. So you went back and forth. What job did you do after that?
Well, I worked on a graveling crew. I loaded trucks for gravel. Out of Charbonneau. And also up by Wild Rose, which is north of Wilson.
When did you start working on the railroad?
Well, I worked, me and my brother Merton worked 2 years, summers, 1950, 51, on the railroad, just in the summertime. Then I started on the bridge crew in Charbonneau. Then shortly afterwards, I had to go to the Army. I was drafted into the Army for 2 years.
What year was that? Do you remember the year?
It was January 1952. Korean War was still on then.
Here, just a second. I'm going to check on this camera again. Well, it says it's still recording.
Huh?
It says it's still recording, so we'll see how long it goes for.
They don't what?
I don't know how much memory it has for recording a movie, so we'll find out. But I have more memory cards. So are you, so when did you go to a basic training camp then in the Army?
Yeah, Fort Leavenworth, Missouri.
Leavenworth?
No,
Leonard Wood.
Leonardwood,
Oh, okay.
Missouri.
Yeah, how long was that?
6 months.
6 months, okay. And then they gave you notice at some time that where you're gonna be stationed after that?
That way, then there was a furlough to come back to Williston. From Williston, I went to my boat from New York, went to Germany.
So they told you, you knew you were going to Germany, right?
No, I didn't know until we got down at Fort Leonard.
So right when you ended the basic training, they said, well, here's where you're gonna go, and then you headed out there pretty quickly?
Well, I went here, back to Williston, on furlough for 2 weeks, I guess it was. Then we left Williston, went over to Germany.
So you traveled by ship?
Yeah,
You know how long that took to get over there?
8 days.
8 days, okay. Was there a whole lot of you on that ship? A lot of soldiers?
Yeah. Pretty rough. I got seasick on it. Quite a ways.
So it bounced around in the waves quite a bit.
Yeah, that Atlantic is pretty rough.
So it wasn't that big a ship then, if it must have bounced around like that. And then you got over to, where did you land, in France?
Germany.
Oh, you landed in Germany. Okay, and then you took a train to, where was it? Stuttgart?
Yeah. Then they sent me to mechanic school on the borderline between East Germany and West Germany. That was a 7-week mechanic course. Then the rest of the time I was a mechanic in the Army at Stuttgart.
What kind of mechanical work did you do? Were you working on engines or?
We troubleshooted and worked on 5-ton international truck engines.
Oh, okay. And those trucks were used for cargo or passenger soldiers?
Those dump trucks, they haul gravel and dirt.
Oh, okay. So what kind of construction work was going on? Were they trying to
We built a helicopter airport at Stuttgart. And 4 of us were mechanics that worked on those trucks.
Was this base? The base was to help Germany rebuild, or what was the? Do you know what the whole idea was?
Well, we built the airport for the Air Force to land there. aircraft on. It was a helicopter airport.
Okay.
So it wasn't very big.
And this Stuttgart is in West Germany, right? Okay. So I know you've told me that when you were in Stuttgart, you got to take a few trips up into the mountains and take, what do they call those things that, those cable cars or those railroads that have the cogs in them? That would take you up the mountainside. So that was in the Swiss Alps or in Germany, both?
In Germany.
In Germany? So that was some of the pleasure that you got to do when you were in the Army. Otherwise you were working for the Army. Is there any, did you meet anybody in the Army that ended up being important?
Yeah, I met Dwayne Bigger went to see my brother-in-law.
How did you meet Dwayne? Were you,
Well, he was in the same camp as I was. And he found out I was from North Dakota. He said one day, come up to me and says, I'd like to have you write to my sister, which is your mother. So that's what I did. I wrote to you, Dwayne's sister.
you thought you guys would be a good match?
Yeah, yeah.
So then you were in the Army for how long? 4 years?
2 years.
2 years. So did Dwayne's Dwayne's sister, did she write back too? That would be Sylvia, my mom.
Yeah, right.
So she wrote back, and so when you got out of the Army, you decided you were going to go meet her in person?
Yeah, your grandpa, John Bigger, took your mother, no, it was Dwayne Bigger, your mother's brother, took your mother to the railroad station in Fargo. That's where I met your mother.
Oh, is that
the railroad
right?
station in Fargo. When I got off the train.
So did you go out to the farm then? Right after that?
Right, that's where I stayed out on the John Bigger farm.
So you were just getting to know the family out there then, and Sylvia and
Nellis and
Rodney?
Rodney.
They were all there at the time, huh?
I stayed like on the farm.
How long did you stay there, you think?
Stayed where?
How long did you stay with on John Greger's farm?
Well, when I went, I just had enough time to go down there on the weekend. I can go down like Friday night, Saturday morning, and come back Sunday afternoon. Whenever I went down to see your mother.
So when you went down to see her, where were you living that you had to, were you back in Charbonneau?
I'm in Charbonneau, but I was working on the bridge too, the railroad bridge too.
And where were you stationed then? Where was the bridge? Was that going all over the state of North Dakota? Or?
All over Montana.
All over Montana. But you only had a 5-day work week?
Yeah.
And you had the weekends off?
Yeah.
How did you get down to the Red River Valley from your train job?
Took the train down.
Oh, took the train.
I
Okay.
got a free pass.
Okay, so that was one of the benefits from working on the train.
Yeah.
You got easy travels down to Fargo then. Is that where they took you to, is Fargo, and then Grandpa came down and picked you up?
Yeah.
You check on this camera again. think so. How long did you spend dating this Sylvia Grigger?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So you came down there just about every weekend for 2.5
No.
years, or?
Up there about once every,
Careful, you don't want to try to-
once every 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
One night, thing that I remember about going down there, the train went right through your mother's horse's farm.
Yep.
It's about from here to that street over there, from that railroad. And your grandma Mayor, she waved a towel at me. Where's this going? And I waved back at her through the railroad
You
car.
could see each other, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it was easy.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna end the video right here.
Sure,
Does that sound good? That gives us a pretty good history of Robert Harmon, I think.
And you did a good job too, Kenny.
Thanks, Dad. Let's see if it all worked out.